Hello, Probers.
Howdy.
Welcome to Buddy with
Buddy with
Aliens,
Aliens!
the extraterrestrial comedy podcast brought to you by two former MIPs who are dedicated to bringing you the truth about the extraterrestrial. We sift through the bullshit so you don't have to.
And we enjoy doing it just for you.
Your host for today is myself, the king of the street grannies, the prince with the perfect peach, and the bestest of best friends, Granny Moonwalker.
He walks on moons.
And sitting opposite me is the grey one, the bearded one. The bearded grey one. The one grey bearded one. Kev in the grey.
There's something missing from that intro.
Me,
Yes.
calling you a twat or being horrible to you, calling you tall, calling you Sally.
Both those last two things. Don't recall you ever starting the episode with saying, and beside me is a twat. It'd be fair, but I don't recall it. The bearded one.
That's not a prediction.
The grey one.
That's a spoiler.
The twat.
Today, probers, we're heading to British Columbia. I'm Canada. And a random midnight trip to watch the stars.
Ooh, sexual.
This is the story of Corina Saebels and her friend, whose name is just Jane Doe.
Is that her actual name, or was she a Jane Doe?
She's a Jane Doe.
By the name of Jane Doe.
This random midnight trip took place on July 31st, 2003 at a quiet little spot in Glenmore. They found their little spot and pulled off the road.
Sable!
They had a flashlight and a set of binoculars and were checking out the beautiful night sky. Their eyes were drawn to a small collection of stars, 3 stars in particular.
Tripod.
These stars were in the shape of a triangle. The 3 stars were bright, brighter than the stars surrounding them, and as they continued to watch, these same 3 stars would begin to move as a unit. Although shocked, they would soon come to the conclusion that the object was a plane.
It's an easy conclusion to reach, yeah?
It's just a picture of the little town,
Oh, it's a quaint little
Glenmore.
village / town / place. Settlement.
Quaint.
Quaint. It's a logical conclusion to make, isn't it? Plane. I often see lights in the sky when I'm letting the dog out at like 11 at night. Realistically 9 at night. Because I go sleepies.
Yeah, I'm in bed by then.
That's a late night.
9:30. What?
But yeah, you often see lights in the sky and you look at them for a while, then always conclude that it's a plane because it's not loud enough to be a helicopter. And what else could it be? But there's so much more it could be if you'd only open your mind. My mind is closed. It's a plane. But there's so much more that it could be.
But it's not.
I wonder if by the time this episode releases, we will have established what that thing in the sky is. It Atlas something or other B? 17B? I don't know. There's loads of stuff in the news at the time we're recording this in October about a comet in the sky that the internet is saying is not a comet because it's speeding up and changing its flight path ever so slightly in a way that wouldn't be explained by a comet.
So I'm going to let you in on something right now.
Yes?
This is the first I'm fucking hearing of it.
This has been all over the news for about 3 or 4 days.
Has literally been work.
I've had the week off. I've seen the news for the first time since like January.
It was like Monday, wake up, 4:30, work, home, play football, next day, work, home, eat, sleep, work, That has been my life for the last week until today, where it was wake up, work, here, drink, get drunk.
Work.
Right now. Work.
Work out. Work out the fingers.
So yeah, sorry, can you just elaborate on what that is for me, please?
On what,
I
sorry?
have no idea what it is yet.
Whoa! We don't know. There's been something that's been detected in the sky. It's currently going past Mars as we record, that coinciding
Thanos.
with the point where it would be viewable by some of our best telescopes and that kind of thing, NASA has gone offline due to a lack of funding. So they're not reporting on it or showing it. People are picking this thing up in telescopes, and apparently 9 additional blobs have suddenly appeared behind it in the last day that weren't there previously. So people are saying it's a ship coming towards us. If this turns out to be a ship, I'm going to look like a cock right now.
What is it good for? Absolutely no.
But yeah, I would assume it's just a comet on a slightly elliptical orbit with bits of it breaking up. Exactly that. But the internet is going wild on this thing.
On it.
You'd think we'd be all over that, but the main point of exactly that we've been around this rodeo too many times.
We don't work on conjecture.
We are conjecture. But yeah, it's the speed of it is going faster than pretty much any other known item in our galaxy, and it's changing speed.
So
that's slightly unusual, but like I say, more than likely some sort of comet with maybe it's losing mass due to it breaking up. No one said this that I've seen, but I've only seen randomers commenting on scientific articles about it.
Well, let's see.
And like I say, by the time this episode drops, I expect it to have been cleared up and have passed the Earth and been a comet.
Or we'll be at war.
My head is going to be on a pike right now by Zarg, who's digging a hole beside me, beside my head to poop in.
A few seconds after coming to the conclusion that the stars were a plane, common sense kicked in.
It was a comet!
A plane doesn't stop and hover, they said.
Hoverplane does.
As they continued to track the lights in the sky, they noticed that the lights were starting to change colour, slightly. Going from a white to a bright green, they then stopped again.
Ooh.
Corina turned the car headlights off and started waving the flashlight around, looking for wild animals that may be nearby. The light landed on a particular stretch of darkness, and ahead a set of eyes could be seen, and then another, and another, and another, and another. 5 sets of eyes were staring back in their direction.
Run.
A family of deer or a pack of wolves.
Run.
According to Corina, it was neither, because in her words, once you really look, your brain takes it in.
Not quite how I imagined Corina to sound, but we'll work with it.
Said in her words, not in her voice.
Distracting then.
Heading towards them were 5 small humanoid figures.
Oh.
All around 4 foot tall with a slender grey body.
You've gone into the juice of the episode. I wanted to ask questions about what the wolves were going to do. Now there's no point. You've got in the pulp. Juice everywhere. Juiced me.
This scared both women to their core. As they turned to try and run back to the car, everything felt like it was happening in slow motion.
Were they pissed?
Brain and heart moving at the speed of light, and the body feeling like it was walking through thigh-high mud.
Ooh.
With a 60-kilo backpack on.
Yeah, thank you.
But they did make it to the car.
Soldiers.
Stupidly, they had left the windows down, so once they got in, they had to start the car to put the windows up. But the car wouldn't start.
Oh no!
They kept trying though, and eventually it started.
What sort of car was it?
I don't know.
Was it a Porsche?
No. I don't know. But I don't want it to be because I want one.
Should we look them up right now and buy one? Should we share it? Keep it here.
We can do that, but I keep the keys.
You can keep one set of keys?
All the keys. Once the car had started, they put the windows up and then sped off. As they were heading back, suddenly, there was traffic all around them where there hadn't been any.
These ladies were tripping balls, clearly.
Ball tripping.
Suddenly there's traffic that wasn't there. But going back to this Porsche, would you accept any type of Porsche?
No.
Other than is it Cayenne, the 4x4 type things? The SUV, sorry?
Wouldn't mind a new one of those. Wouldn't take an old one.
No, because they cost like $1,000 a year to tax, which if you're going to buy a Porsche, you can probably afford that. But there's something in me that begrudges paying that.
If you're going to buy a Porsche, buy a good Porsche.
Yeah.
Not a shitty old one. A shitty old one.
The reason I ask is because at some point we're going to hit that point in our household where we need a second car again. I say again.
Yeah, we've already had this conversation, though. And I've been sending you Polo GTIs.
Well, if anything, it's going to be an R rather than a GTI, but we'll get to that
but
when we get to that.
I don't want you to have an R,
but
because I'm going to want to drive it. So get a Polo GTI, because then I won't want to drive it.
It's not going to be a Polo.
Swift?
I've had one of them. I've also driven a Polo. It's not going to be either of them, but the Swift was better, for the record. Anyway, I have been looking at Porsches, for you mainly, just because the thought of turning up at yours in a Porsche tickles me so much because you really want one. But I've come to the realisation that I just couldn't have a Porsche because generally they're convertibles or they're two doors, other than the Cayennes, which I'm not interested in, like the fun ones.
Practical.
But it's not even family because it would be a car for me to go to work and to sort Moxley, but therein lies the issue. So if my partner needs the car for the babe, and our car is brilliant for family circumstances because the buggy can go below in the little compartment in the boot and then you've still got the boot on top. So she would need that car, meaning that I would potentially need to take the dog out in... You just couldn't have my dog in a convertible.
Or a Porsche.
He'd end up driving. He would literally be on the steering wheel, turning the wheel.
Yeah, he would. Yeah,
it just couldn't happen. And like when you start thinking about all the practicalities, sadly.
So what you're telling me...
I'm going to be getting an R.
I was about to say, what you're telling me is you're going to get a truck.
Or a pickup truck. Can you get fast pickup trucks?
Probably.
But I really want to get a Porsche just so I can turn up outside your house. Maybe I'll hire one for the day just to see the look on your face.
I'd dig a hole in your garden.
So the case. They saw 5 small humanoid figures.
They did.
4 foot tall. Did we say what colour they were? Were they green or grey? They were grey.
They were grey. Slender grey body.
Damn it. I'm always rooting for the greens.
Not come across a green in a while.
I've never come across one.
Case-wise.
Was this a telepathic impact or had they been blasted by something? And if so, what blasted them?
Was it just fear? Were they perceived... Did they perceive that they were running slower than they were?
Maybe when that adrenaline hits, things could seem to be going slower than they are.
Everything seems like it's going in slow motion. Like if you have a really bad accident or anything like that, like a lot of people say, everything seemed to be moving in slow motion and it couldn't stop what was happening.
So they were blasted. No, I get your point. I get your point. That's one possibility, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I was trying to work out whether they had been hit by something, as I say, whether that's blasted or whether telepathic. But if time has slowed down and suddenly there's traffic there that wasn't there, have they lost some time? Have they been slabbed and probed?
That's a good question.
That's where my mind is at. Is she going to like have a weird tingling sensation in her butthole and be like, where did that come from? Go for a doctor's checkup 3 months later and find a little metal device in her butt.
Why do you say that? Found one the other day.
Little metal device in your butt. Was it vibrating?
Not at the time.
It ran out of battery. Completely off topic. Do you reckon...
this was on topic?
Well, butt probes
sort of.
was kind of on topic, yeah. Just going back to our previous episode, do you think there is such a thing as The Legend of Zelda tingle sex toy?
Yes. I reckon somewhere out there, someone's made one.
Either exists or someone has created and 3D printed.
Both. No. I think someone has created and 3D printed rather than there being one. Because whatever company would have created one, Nintendo would have sued them into the ground. So I think someone's probably just created their own. Is this where you open the drawer and there's one in there?
Well, funny you say that. Ignore the flashlight.
Corina explained that as they continued down the road, she mentioned to her friend, she mentioned to her friend that she had a weird feeling within. Told you.
Ooh!
A feeling like electricity was running through her.
Her butt.
Jane concurred that she felt the same.
In her butt.
One of them would glance at the clock, which then made their stomach turn.
Through their butt.
According to the in-car clock, they'd been out of the car for around 30 minutes.
Oh.
But to them,
I feel it coming.
they were literally only out for around 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah!
Missing time.
Baby! Oh yeah! Bullseye!
The two questioned
Bullseye!
whether they'd had a joint hallucination, but as they got nearer to home, they spotted the green lights again. But this time, they were much, much lower, moving around and then stopping, and then moving around and stopping again. Corina brought the car to a stop, but didn't switch the engine off. No sooner had the speedometer reached 0, the lights made a beeline towards them, stopping directly over them.
Oh.
Corina put her foot down as hard as she could, speeding through a nearby orchard, managing to avoid the trees. Finally, she brought the car to a stop and switched everything off, hoping that they'd be invisible to whatever was following them. They looked out of the windscreen of the car, looking up, and a single light that had followed them had now been joined by another two. Corina started the car up and sped off again, this time heading home. And they got there with nothing else happening to them.
Oh, they definitely got twice.
They got.
They got got.
They got gut.
They got, had the funny feeling in their tum-tums, and then they thought they were in a police chase and drove away and turned their lights off, thinking that was going to fool the aliens. Oh, no. The aliens had realised they'd left their little metal devices in their butts, so they tracked them back down, took them... once they hid the car and then headed home without anything else happening, they didn't report the time, did they? That's more missing time potentially right there.
The two women would discuss what happened and then went to bed to try and get some sleep. When they awoke in the morning, they would discover strange bruises and marks on their body.
No.
Corina had a bruise on the underside of her foot and one on her left boob. As they spoke, Jane mentioned how rough she felt, and then blood would start to drip from her nose.
Ooh.
Along with the bloody nose, Jane complained about back pain. When they took a look, they noticed a small circle was burned into it. They would continue to examine one another and find more and more bruises. Corina had 3 finger marks on both of her thighs.
Great.
Jane decided to cut her visit to see Corina short and headed back home. When she visited her doctor complaining about back pain, the doctor took a look and exclaimed that it looked like radiation burn. Corina's 18-year-old son came to stay with her several months following the incident, and one day she would notice something that would petrify her. This would start to flood her mind of memories of her childhood.
What? Her childhood? Her childhood? What?
Yeah.
Why would she have a single radiation burn circle on her back?
Depends what kind of instrument was used.
Well, this is what I'm wondering, what they did.
Maybe they heat a needle up and they put insert a needle to extract spinal fluid.
Why would they need radiation to do that?
Maybe that's just a symptom of the whatever technology they use. Like if they, let's say for example, they had a pipe or a tube which has like a circular part there, and then the needle comes out. So once the needle goes in, whatever that circle part is that's touching her back leaves the radiation burn mark.
3 finger marks.
3.
You'd think that if something's visiting this planet from elsewhere, they're going to have to be more advanced than us to enable that. You'd think a more advanced species would have more digits because you could just get more done.
What if they're not the advanced species?
But then how would they get here?
What if they are, let's say, for example, students?
That doesn't mean they're a less advanced species.
They might not have earned their fingers.
They earn them. They evolve like an orangutan's face sponge thing. I forget what they...
Flanges.
Flange, yeah. Only when they're dominant after they graduate.
I earned my fingers.
Woohoo! Time to party.
Or they could be like the workers. So the way that a beehive has a certain structure, you've got the queen and then everything down below. That could be similar.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, they don't have to abide by our conventions, do they?
Nope.
Absolutely, I get that. Corin's son has markings on his back.
It does indeed.
Why?
We'll find out. Maybe. On his back was a triangular mark with strange circular markings within it. When she was 12, she would notice that a similar mark was there on her leg. She couldn't help but feel the markings on him and those she experienced were much more than coincidence.
I can get that.
What made her even more concerned was when her son was only 9, a small hole was discovered in his spine due to a mystery infection.
There's an infection that can create a hole in your spine? Jesus crap.
One that would take months of antibiotics and treatment to combat. With this in mind, she would take her son to seek medical attention regarding the strange scoop marks on his back. However, despite intense examination, the doctor could provide no explanation for the marks or their sudden appearance. Interestingly, Corina would notice how that morning when leaving the house, she had noticed how the tops of the trees near her home were yellow, like they were slightly burnt.
I've got nothing for that.
In the years following the encounter, Corina has come to the conclusion that these events have been happening to her throughout her life and have affected her family too, as they like to go from generation to generation.
Oh, we've heard that before.
She believes, for example, that the encounters began for her around the age of 4 or 5. However, from being a teenager, the visitations became more frequent. They would take DNA and other samples. These visitations continue today, and friends and family have been present when huge ships have gone over the house, or have even discovered one of them missing for a considerable amount of time, only for them to reappear, usually initially unaware of anything untoward. But we don't have their accounts of any of this. She also believes the extraterrestrials involved in these abductions are the Greys, who seem to be acting like scientists carrying out research. Research for who? That we do not know. Corina has gone on to write a book about these experiences called The Collectors, a Canadian UFO experience. One reader and reviewer of the book who 100% believes every word that Corina has said is Robert Hulse, who is a well-known UFO enthusiast. His review title is Totally Honest Account Written from the Heart of a Good Woman. I think he's just trying to get laid or make another project.
How does he know her personally?
No.
Okay. Why were they taking DNA samples?
Who knows at this point? I mean, we've got all of our past cases to go by. Are they making hybrids? Are they like researching humans?
We just don't know.
We don't know.
I just don't know. She hasn't really given a lot. Some of similar cases we've covered, and there are quite a few of these types of cases. They give you lots of accounts of them going back and forth on the ship, off the ship, on the ship, off the ship. And whether it's to create hybrids, of which we've seen stacks of them, or we've just seen one pregnant alien lady, for example. We've seen experimentation where they'd put something in, take it back out. This one hasn't really given us a lot of detail as to what is going on. Hasn't detailed any conversations with them. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but it feels like she's missing a bit of detail. If she can remember this much.
What we find with quite a lot of the old cases that you don't find with this one is, like you said, detail. A lot of detail has come from, I saw a mark on my son and that triggered memories, not something happened to me and and that triggered memories.
Yeah, and it's come out of
left field.
Yeah. I mean, she had the experience in the car, but did that catch fire? And then she's added further details, but not really had much to add.
Might have just looked up and got scared by a light and just drove off. We also don't have Jane Doe's name or account. So we don't have a real name or account from Jane Doe.
And none of the friends are coming forward either. She's just telling us about what they're seeing. Yeah.
So to summarise, we have the case of Corina Saebels, who along with her friend Jane Doe went out for a random trip to watch the stars at about midnight. Once they found the location, they spotted some of the stars in the sky in a weird triangle pattern, which then began to move. Shrugging it off as a plane, they continued to watch before common sense took over. Planes don't hover. They cut the lights of the car and waved the torch around looking for wild animals, and happened upon 5 sets of eyes. Greys started to walk towards them. They struggled to run to the car, but once there, struggled again to do the windows up due to the car not starting and needing power to operate the windows. They sped off and then realised about 25 minutes of time was missing from their memory. As they continued driving, the lights were in the sky. As they stopped, the lights headed straight for them. They sped off through a nearby orchard, then came to a stop, hoping to be invisible to what was chasing them. This didn't happen. The one light chasing them was joined by another 2 and was hovering in front of them in the sky. They sped up again, this time making it home with no other incident. The 2 spoke about what had occurred and then tried to get some sleep. When they awoke, they discussed the odd marks and bruises that they had on their bodies along with varying pain. Jane cut her stay short and headed home. Once home, she spoke to her doctor, who said the mark on her back looked like a radiation burn. Soon after the encounter, Corina's son came to stay and she noticed a strange mark on his back. This mark brought back memories of her childhood. This then made her worried that they were connected and that these greys have been generationally experimenting on them for many, many years. According to Corina, it's still happening to her today. Oh, and she also wrote a book about it.
Yeah. Did that book sell many copies?
I don't know. At least 6.
Did you see how much it cost?
At least 6. I saw 6 reviews.
She's got a good heart. What I'm struggling to get a sense of is whether she believes.
It all sounds very much a ploy.
Mm.
And when you look, like, we don't have the name of the other person that was there with her. We don't have the name of any other friends or family members, and none of them have come forward to say what they've seen.
Yeah.
We've got the picture of the markings on her son's back, but if you take a good look at them, if you were to take your shirt off and sit against the chair for too long and then stand up, you would have markings on your back. It looks like they've just placed something in the middle of his back and he just laid on it for 5 minutes and then stood up.
Yeah. So, I'm in. What about you?
I'm in. Aliens. We believe you, Corina.
Do. The end.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it was aliens.
Why?
It's fragmented.
Everything we said.
It's bitty. It's going off in different directions without any substantial detail or verification from the people she cites. If someone has seen a craft over her house, I want to hear from that person. I want photos or something. I think for a lot of sightings, like if you saw a beast in front of you, I think it's quite plausible. As we've discussed before, I go out on dog walks. I've seen lots of things from a distance, not really sure what they are other than some form of wildlife. Don't have time to
You're not going to whip your phone straight out
and take a photo. You're kind of checking your surroundings, trying to work out what it is, that kind of thing. So I get not having a photo of that. But if you see something going past in the sky above your house, I think that's a little bit different and you probably would take a photo.
Also, the yellow leaves on the trees.
Autumn. yeah. Not burnt.
If they were burnt, they wouldn't
Black.
be yellow.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that for me is not. It's not aliens.
I've got legs and Corina. You're trying to pull one of them.
Thank you for joining us for this week's probe. You can find us on Instagram at But It Was Aliens, Facebook at But It Was Aliens, and we also have our Facebook group Extraterrestrial Towers, where we drop memes of mummies and more. We are also on the Twitter at But It Was Aliens. On the Twitter! And on Patreon /.
But It Was Aliens.
There, you will... You made your daughter cry. You will find Side Probes, the spin-off of But It Was Aliens, where we probe ghost ships, sassy, demons, dogs with superpowers, Rasputin's dick, and much, much more.
I didn't.
You did.
Downstairs.
Yeah, but your on the Twitter was loud, hence why I didn't do it. I wasn't going to be responsible.
She'd just be wanting something that she can't reach.
All right, stop trying to, like, claim you didn't. Wasn't me, honest.
Fine.
Remember, the truth is up there. #
Probe.
Oh, Corina, you're talking shit. Your son had no mom, and you're a fucking twit.